Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel. Enjoy the listening. The warship that shouldn't exist, but it does. The deep silence of space was broken by the steady hum of the Earth Defense Force ship North Star as it patrolled the outer edges of human space. Captain James Walker stood at the bridge's main viewport, his weathered face reflecting off the reinforced glass as he watched the distant stars. 20 years of service had taught him to trust his gut, and right now his gut was telling him something wasn't right. "Captain, we're picking up an unusual energy signature," called out Tom from his sensor station. The young officer's voice carried a mix of confusion and excitement that made Walker turn away from the viewport. "It's unlike anything in our database. Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel. Enjoy the listening." The warship that shouldn't exist, but it does. Walker crossed the bridge in quick strides, his magnetic boots clicking against the metal floor. "Show me," he ordered, leaning over Tom's station. The holographic display showed a faint purple dot pulsing at irregular intervals about 3 light minutes from their position. "Whatever it is, it's big," Tom added, his fingers dancing across the haptic interface. "At least a destroyer class, maybe larger. But the energy pattern, sir, it doesn't make sense. It's like it's there and not there at the same time." Walker's eyes narrowed. The Earth Defense Force had cataloged every known ship signature in explored space. Even the mysterious Dominion ships with their advanced technology had recognizable patterns. This was something new. "Plot an intercept course," Walker commanded, "but keep us at a safe distance. Notify medical to prep for possible containment scenarios and get engineering ready for anything." He keyed the shipwide comm. "All hands, this is the captain. Battle stations. This is not a drill." The North Star's engines hummed louder as the ship changed course. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, but Walker could sense their tension. Everyone knew about the Dominion threat, the aggressive alien empire pushing steadily toward Earth space. Every unusual contact could be a prelude to invasion. As they drew closer, the ship's primary sensors began gathering more data. The mystery vessel was massive, easily twice the size of the North Star. It was dark, seemingly absorbing light rather than reflecting it. The shape was like nothing Walker had ever seen. Organic curves blended with geometric patterns that seemed to shift when viewed too long. "Sir," called Lisa from the engineering station, "the power readings, they're impossible." Her voice trembled slightly. "According to these readings, the ship is generating more energy than it's consuming. That violates at least 3 laws of physics." Walker felt a chill run down his spine. "Life signs. None detected," Tom reported, "but there's so much interference we can't be certain. The hull material is unlike anything in our records. Our scans keep sliding off it." The North Star drew alongside the mysterious vessel, close enough now that it filled the main viewport. Walker studied its dark surface, noting what appeared to be weapon ports, though they were unlike any weapon systems he recognized. The ship showed no signs of damage, no indication of why it was drifting in space. "Sir," Tom's shout made Walker spin around. "The ship, it's powering up." Across the mystery ship's hull, lines of soft blue light began to pulse like blood flowing through veins. The energy signature on their sensors jumped, then jumped again, climbing to levels that should have been impossible. "Shields up, ready weapons," Walker ordered, but before the crew could respond, something even stranger happened. The mystery ship's energy signature stabilized, and a signal began broadcasting on all frequencies. "It's English," Lisa said incredulously, checking her readings. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission in perfect Earth standard." Walker hesitated only a moment. "Put it through." The bridge speakers crackled, and a calm, artificial voice filled the air. "To any Earth Defense Force vessel receiving this transmission, we are designation Temporal Defense Ship Paradox. We come with warning and purpose. The future of humanity depends on what you do next." The message repeated, and Walker felt the weight of history settling onto his shoulders. He'd heard stories of first contact, of discoveries that changed the course of human development. Somehow, he knew this was one of those moments. "Sir," Tom called out, his voice tight with excitement, "I'm detecting a match in the ship's atomic structure. The base materials. They are from Earth. This ship, whatever it is, was built by humans." Walker stared at the impossible vessel through the viewport, a human ship that violated the laws of physics. A vessel that claimed to come with warnings about the future. It shouldn't exist, but it did, and it was here. "Open a channel," Walker commanded. As the comm officer complied, he straightened his uniform and cleared his throat. "This is Captain James Walker of the Earth Defense Force vessel North Star. We receive your transmission. Paradox. What warning do you bring?" The response was immediate, and what they heard made every person on the bridge freeze. The artificial voice spoke clearly. "The Dominion fleet approaches Earth with weapons that will pierce any defense we currently possess. They will arrive in 30 days. This ship contains the technology required to save humanity, but time is critical. Captain Walker, you are authorized to board. You will find proof of our origin and purpose in the main computer core, but be warned. What you learn will challenge everything you believe about the nature of reality." Walker looked around at his crew. He saw fear in their eyes, but also determination. They all knew about the Dominion threat. Earth's best analysts had predicted an attack was coming, but no one had expected it so soon. "Assemble a boarding team," Walker ordered. "Full containment protocols. I want engineering and science personnel with combat training." He turned to his XO. "Keep the ship at battle readiness. If anything goes wrong, you get out of here and warn Earth." As the boarding team prepared, Walker stared at the mysterious vessel, this paradox that claimed to be from humanity's future. In 20 years of space service, he'd seen many strange things, but nothing like this. A ship that broke the laws of physics, broadcasting warnings of doom in perfect English. It was either humanity's salvation or the most elaborate trap ever conceived. The boarding team reported ready, and Walker headed for the shuttle bay. With each step, questions tumbled through his mind. If the ship was really from the future, why appear now? Why here? And most importantly, what kind of desperate situation would drive humans to build something that defied the very laws of physics? As his team's shuttle approached the Paradox's hull, Walker thought he saw something in the strange patterns, a familiarity he couldn't quite place. The ship shouldn't exist. Everything he knew about science said it was impossible. Yet here it was, and soon he would learn either humanity's greatest hope or its final doom. The shuttle's docking clamps engaged with a solid thunk against the Paradox's hull. Walker checked his suit's seals one final time and nodded to his team. "Remember," he said, "whatever we find in there changes everything. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay together. Let's go make history." The airlock cycled, and humanity's first step into an impossible future began. The inside of the Paradox was unlike anything Walker and his team had ever seen. Their helmet lights revealed corridors that seemed to shift and change as they walked, surfaces that rippled like water yet felt solid under their boots. The air was breathable according to their suit sensors, but no one dared remove their helmets. "Engineering team, report," Walker spoke into his comm as they moved deeper into the ship. Dr. Emily Reed, Earth's youngest quantum engineer, responded with barely contained excitement in her voice. "Captain, these readings are amazing. The walls aren't just metal. They're in some kind of quantum flux state. It's like they exist in multiple places at once." She waved her scanner over a nearby panel. "And the power readings, they're off the charts, but I can't find any fuel source." The team made their way to what appeared to be the bridge. The room was circular, with empty control stations arranged in a pattern that somehow felt familiar despite its alien design. In the center stood a holographic projection system, currently dark. "See if you can power it up," Walker ordered. The engineering team spread out, examining the strange controls. Dr. Reed approached what looked like the main console, her hands hovering over its surface. "It's warm," she said in surprise, "and I think it's recognizing my presence." The console surface began to glow with a soft blue light, spreading out from where her hands hovered. Suddenly, the holographic system in the center of the room burst to life. A figure appeared, a human figure. It was an older man wearing what looked like a modified Earth Defense Force uniform. His image flickered slightly as he spoke. "If you are seeing this, then the Paradox has successfully made contact with an Earth Defense Force vessel. I am, or was, Admiral Thomas Cooper. Earth Defense Force, year 2157. The hologram paused, as if gathering thoughts. "What I'm about to tell you will sound impossible, but every word is true." Walker felt his heart rate increase. 2157 was 130 years in the future. The hologram continued. "The Dominion attacked Earth in 2025 with their quantum phase technology. They bypassed all our defenses. We lost billions in the first wave. Those who survived, we learned, we adapted, we stole their tech, improved it, and did what humans do best. We made the impossible possible." Dr. Reed had stopped working, her full attention on the hologram. Her scanner beeped frantically, trying to make sense of the technology around them. "This ship," the hologram explained, "represents humanity's greatest achievement and our most desperate gamble. We broke the laws of physics because we had to. The hull exists in quantum superposition, making it virtually indestructible. The power core draws energy from parallel universes. The weapons, they don't just destroy targets, they erase them from existence." Walker's team exchanged glances. This sounded like science fiction, yet they were standing inside the proof. "But our victories came too late," the hologram continued. "Earth was already lost. So we made a choice. We built this ship not just to break the laws of physics, but to break the laws of time itself. We're sending it back, giving our past selves, giving you, a fighting chance." Dr. Reed's voice shook as she spoke. "Captain, he's telling the truth. These designs, they're human designs, just pushed far beyond anything we thought possible." She projected her scanner's display for everyone to see. "The basic architecture is like our ships, just evolved, like someone took Earth's technology and spent decades pushing it to its absolute limits." The hologram flickered again. "We've included all our research, all our advancements, but time is critical. The Dominion fleet approaching Earth now has quantum phase technology. Your current defenses will be useless. You have 30 days to understand enough of our tech to have a fighting chance." Walker stepped forward. "How? How can we possibly learn all this in 30 days?" As if answering his question, the hologram smiled. "Because you already have. In our timeline, this ship arrived, and a team of Earth's brightest minds worked day and night to understand it. You failed to stop the first attack, but you learned enough to help some of us survive. This time you have more warning, better resources, and most importantly, you have Dr. Emily Reed." Dr. Reed startled at hearing her name. The hologram turned to face her directly. "Dr. Reed, in our timeline, you were the one who finally understood how to merge quantum mechanics with conventional engineering. Your theories laid the groundwork for everything this ship represents. Your future self helped design it. Who better to understand it than you?" The engineering team turned to look at Dr. Reed, who stood frozen, her mind visibly racing with possibilities. Finally, she spoke. "The quantum flux state of the hull. It's not just for defense, is it? It's a computing system. The entire ship is one massive quantum computer." The hologram nodded. "The first step of many. You'll find detailed technical data in the ship's computer core. But remember, understanding this technology is only part of the challenge. Building it with current materials, adapting it to work with existing systems, that's where human ingenuity comes in." Walker keyed his comm. "North Star. This is Walker. Send a priority message to Earth Command. Tell them." He paused, considering his words carefully. Tell them we found something that changes everything. And get me a direct line to the Defense Science Council. We're going to need every bright mind we can get." A hologram of Admiral Cooper began to fade. "One last thing. There's a reason we chose this exact moment, this exact patrol route for contact. The Paradox had to find the right people at the right time. Don't waste this chance. Humanity's future depends on what you do next." As the hologram disappeared, Dr. Reed was already diving into the ship's systems, her fingers flying over the controls with increasing confidence. "Captain," she said, not looking up, "I'm going to need teams of engineers, quantum physicists, and material scientists. And coffee, lots of coffee." Walker nodded, a grim smile forming on his face. "You'll have everything you need. Humanity just got a cheat sheet from our future selves. Let's make it count." Around them, the impossible ship hummed with power, its quantum systems already beginning to interface with Dr. Reed's equipment. The walls shifted, their patterns almost as if the ship itself was eager to share its secrets. They had 30 days to understand technology that shouldn't exist, build weapons that broke the laws of physics, and prepare Earth for an invasion by an enemy that had already beaten them in another timeline. Looking at the determination on his team's faces, Walker felt a surge of pride. This was humanity at its best, faced with the impossible yet ready to work miracles. The ship might be from the future, but humanity's greatest strengths were timeless. Adaptability, determination, and the ability to look at the impossible and say, "Let's make it happen." Dr. Reed looked up from her work, her eyes shining with excitement. "Captain, you're not going to believe what I'm seeing. The quantum core, it's not just breaking the laws of physics, it's rewriting them." 20 days had passed since the discovery of the paradox, and Earth's finest minds were working around the clock inside a hidden facility near the lunar base. Dr. Reed hadn't slept properly in days, her eyes red-rimmed as she stared at the holographic display showing their latest failed test. "No, no, no," she muttered, running her hands through her messy hair. "We're still thinking too conventionally. The power core isn't just generating energy, it's pulling it from somewhere else." She turned to her team, who looked just as exhausted as she felt. "We need to stop trying to build a better engine and start thinking about holes in reality." Captain Walker watched from the observation deck as another test chamber exploded, the reinforced walls containing the blast. That was the 12th failure today. 10 days remained until the predicted Dominion attack, and while they'd made progress, they were still far from replicating the Paradox's technology. "Dr. Reed," he called over the comm, "maybe it's time for a break." "Fresh eyes might." "No time." She cut him off, already setting up for another test. "The answer's right here. We're just not seeing it." She pulled up the original scans from the Paradox. "Look at these patterns in the power flow. They're not random. They're like waves in a pond, but the ripples go inward instead of outward." One of her assistants, Mike, stepped closer to the display. "Like it's pulling energy toward it instead of pushing it out. But that's..." He trailed off, not wanting to say impossible anymore. They'd seen too many impossible things lately. "Exactly." Dr. Reed's eyes lit up with sudden understanding. "We've been trying to generate power, but what if we create a vacuum instead? Not in space, but in reality itself. Nature abhors a vacuum. If we make a hole in the energy field of our universe, energy from other universes would rush in to fill it." Mike finished, catching her excitement, like opening a drain at the bottom of a pool. Walker didn't completely understand the science, but he recognized the look on Dr. Reed's face. It was the same look she'd had when she first stepped onto the Paradox, the look of someone seeing past the impossible to the merely difficult. The next test was different. Instead of trying to generate power, they built a device that created what Dr. Reed called